Good afternoon. I'll call the meeting to order. Was the meeting properly noticed?
Yes, it was.
Roll call, please.
All members are present except for Mary Lou.
Okay. Have the agenda before us. If there's no changes to the agenda,
We're just gonna-
yep. Right. No, it's going through his.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay. Motion to approve the agenda is presented. Discussion, questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed signify by saying nay. Agenda is approved as listed. We have the meetings from October 7th meeting. Entertain a motion to approve. Okay, Supervisor Gabarski, second by Supervisor Crew. Discussion on the minutes.
Mr. Chair, I was unable to open these minutes to preview them for approval. Therefore, I'm not going to approve. I don't know if anybody had a similar problem, but that existed in the last meeting as well.
Supervisor Churko.
Additionally, to what the supervisor said, the minutes that I have are the planning and zoning committee meeting. Those are the ones that I got, so.
Yeah, those are the ones attached.
Yeah, we definitely better not approve them in this
Won't have
committee. Thank you, Jay.
We have a motion on the floor, so we'll have to vote to, you can't really take the motion off the floor, so we'll just,
They actually aren't online, no matter what.
oh, yeah.
I did too, I saw them.
Yeah, so if we previewed them, the ones that are there, so,
Everybody's good with them.
yeah. And Supervisor Pozdowski, if you want to vote no, you can go ahead and vote no, okay?
Yeah, please enter me as a no for this reason. Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Those against, Supervisor Pozdowski is a nay.
Supervisor Pozdolski with a nay.
Understanding why, so, okay. My agenda here. I will allow public participation as we go forward. Next, we have correspondence. We have correspondence from Supervisor Baker on as you saw there about the Tri-Lakes appointment. So if there's no objection, I just will forward that to next month and we'll have that as an agenda item next month or during the next meeting, and we can address it then, because otherwise correspondence, we normally don't allow conversation there. So we'll include it as an agenda item next month. Next meeting date, we can take that up at the end if there's no objection.
UW would
Or-
like to do it here.
Okay. Oh, right at this point. Okay. Yes. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. You want to use your mic, please? Okay. Just so other people are hearing.
Yes, if so, the extension had asked if we could have that up in the agenda.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So if we look at our next meeting date, 3rd of December. How does that work for everybody? Fine? Okay. 3rd? Okay, the 3rd. And is 3 o'clock, knowing that it's getting darker earlier, so 3 o'clock. 3 if we could. Well, if we keep it at 3, I mean, it's gonna get dark by 5 o'clock now, and by then it's almost 4:30 by the time it gets dark, so.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, we all deal with the same circumstance with driving,
And some
of
drive
course, but
farther than others.
we have to remember we represent the people.
Mhm.
And it makes it easier for the citizens to observe and attend these meetings if they're later in the day, for example, after work, that work day is over. So I would like to recommend making it more like 3:30, make it more attainable for the citizens to observe at least. I mean, I'd rather have it at 4, but I think 3:30 is more realistic for people.
So. I mean, I'd like to go for 3 o'clock. So I mean. I I mean, we can take show of hands if you want. So. Okay, so those for 3:30, we'll start it there.
All right. 3:30, Supervisor Pozdolski.
3 o'clock? Okay. 3 o'clock. We'll try it at 3 o'clock, and if it's an issue, and let the citizens know if they do have any input on anything that they can't, they can always send correspondence. Or contact one of us to bring
Right.
something up.
But I'm talking about participating in person, of course. And, they all prefer
Right.
in-person participation. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate it.
Okay. Items for action, University of Wisconsin Extension has none, but reports then. Director report.
Hi, so I'm the director, right? That's me, Pat
Yes.
Wagner. So, I'm sorry, what? It's on?
Yes. She was away from her microphone. She's up there now.
Can you hear me now, Rich?
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. So you all have the report that was shared. My work has been primarily with counties getting things together for the budget. So we're waiting anxiously for your meeting to approve that budget. But a couple highlights I think would be important for me to point out for the extension staff. Our PYD educator, Evan Henthorn, has been very active in the last month. He's partnering with and has taken to heart the direction from county committees in the past to not just always program here in Adams Friendship. So he's partnering with the Parks and Rec program in Wisconsin Dells and doing some after school programming in that part of the county. He's been doing a lot of 4-H promotion as we've had 4-H enrollment happen up until the 1st of November. He's got our 3 sales students already starting to think about camp for 2025. Also took up an initiative here in the county. Childcare is an issue. So he's been working with young people to get trained so they could be safe babysitters. Had 9 young people go through a program. And I think you also should know that he was recently recognized as a presenter at the National 4-H Educators annual meeting that was held out in Idaho. He got funding for that from the county as well as some from the state, but he was on a committee that was recognized as doing some really great work with 4-H promotion called the 4-H movement. And so that's really a feather in the hat for us to have here in Adams County, to know that we have an educator that's recognized at that level. Our FoodWise staff continues to do programming on nutrition education, as well as strength training and fall prevention work for individuals who might need that. Our health and well-being educator has been partnering with a number of groups in the county, the Adams Friendship High School on a tobacco prevention program, ADRC on an aging mastery program for folks, as well as Health First on a teen outreach program. She also, because of that, some work she's done with supporting youth mental health, was recently published in a national publication for extension. So again, people that are doing some really great work and are recognized nationally right here in Adams County. Our agriculture educators, our livestock educator just recently did a Pelter workshop, which has to do with training individuals from the communities on how they would deal with a livestock issue. And he shared with me that there was recently a fire that happened with a livestock trailer right here in Adams. Jane Gavone, am I saying that right? Jervis, sorry. She attended the training that was in Watoma just before that accident happened. So timely training, again, being in this corridor where people are moving livestock back and forth, either north or to the Green Bay area. And then our other ag educator in crops and soils, she's been doing a lot of research projects in the county and working with the Hancock Experiment Station, and Colton's department. So really excited about the work they've been doing. So please take time to read the report in more detail.
Okay, any questions? Supervisor Pozdowski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as usual, I have a recommendation regarding this topic and narrative. As it is health related, a lot of this, I don't believe it's appropriate to inject this into this committee. And therefore, I would recommend that this be presented, especially the health related topics in Health and Human Services, where it'd be far more productive. I think we need to concentrate our efforts where they will be more productive and productive as possible for the citizens. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any questions on the project status report or the financial report? Okay, seeing none, then we'll move down to items for action on land and water. Colton, you take these. LMPN agreement resolution.
Yep, so this resolution, it's the LMPN agreement, which is the Lake Monitoring Protection Network. We do an agreement with the DNR for a 3-year term. There's no match from the county needed. They provide funding to the counties for monitoring water quality, aquatic invasive species work, training watercraft inspectors, and education and outreach. The funds are allocated per county through a statistical model that the DNR uses that considers resource quantity, resource condition, network activity, and the economy. And part of this money helps fund our water resource specialist position. And we get an average of from $10,000 to $11,000 yearly. And usually our water resource specialist has these funds used up through his education and outreach and AIS work by September of every year.
Okay. So we need any discussion, a motion to approve the.
Yeah, just a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the resolution and send down to county board. Do we have a second? Supervisor Turco. So we have the resolution on the floor for discussion, the motion to move that forward. Any discussion or questions? Supervisor Postowski.
Yeah, there's been some citizen concerns on this application spray or what all this is going to affect. Can you tell us a little bit more, Cody, about, how this is, what studies have been done on how this, especially long-term will affect aquatic life, plant life?
So the funds are used for monitoring the water quality in lake streams throughout the county. He does AIS work, so aquatic invasive species. He will go and do PI surveys, which is a point intercept survey where he goes around the lake and identifies all the different types of invasive species that are in the lakes.
Mhm.
He has 3 of them set up for 2025. These funds also go towards the Clean Boats, Clean Waters, where he trains watercraft inspectors on telling citizens how to clean up their boats because of AIS.
Mhm.
And then he also does education and outreach with a lot of the lake groups.
So can you give us some examples of some of the invasive aquatic plants and what they do about it when they find them, or invasive plants, what they're doing with these?
So yeah, so when Kiefer goes out and does his PI, his point intercept surveys, he makes up maps on a CAD system and makes up maps of all the locations of where they're at, and then he takes this to the lake committees, the districts or the associations,
Uh-huh.
and they add this into their lake management plan, and they could talk about chemical treatment, drawdowns, and other aspects that can help get rid of these invasive species.
Right now, when we talk chemical treatment, for example, if that's applied, how can we be sure? I mean, does this kill all plant life, or is it just killing certain plant life? Because there's been citizen concerns about these chemical treatments killing all the plant life, which, long term can affect the ecosystem.
Yeah, depending on, we work with a DNR, Scott Provost,
Mhm.
the DNR of the Rapids office. We work with him on these aquatic plant management plans.
Mhm.
So depending on the amount of invasives in the lake and what they are, it can be a full treatment or it can be a selective harvest.
Mhm.
And there are options for biocontrol as well. They're just very limited in the amount of studies that have been done on them so far.
Mhm. yeah, it's just long-term, I think there's citizens that are concerned about how things are gonna. So it's kind of got me skeptical, to be honest with you, Cody, along with a lot of citizens. So that's my position on this.
Yeah, I mean, when we bring up when we bring up the maps to, their lake associations for their management plans, you know, they're the ones that need to write up their management plan, so it's up to them on whether or not they need to, whether or not they wanna use it or not,
Mhm.
and, yeah, I mean, it's totally up to them. We give them recommendations, but
Right,
it's up
right,
to them and what they want the lake to be like in the future,
right. I think,
and they can bring that up at their meeting.
yeah, the concern, the chemicals they're using, I don't, I don't know if there's been enough research to see, that's what the citizens are concerned about too, that, have been looking into this, how it's gonna affect long-term, so.
Yeah, the main chemical that they use on the aquatic plants is 2,4-D, and
Mhm.
that one got approved, by the EPA, I think back in the 90s, that it was safe for humans and it can be like a selective treatment that can be
Mhm.
done. So I know there's some other ones that are, going through some studies right now, but that's the
Right.
main one that like lake
Right.
associations will use.
But not only humans, of course, but also,
Yeah.
the
Yep.
fish, the aquatic life, all forms. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, we appreciate it, Cody. So thank you for all that information.
Supervisor Krug?
Just a reminder, these are grants and these are dollars that come from the state that are allocated in the state budget that come to lakes and their management boards to put ideas together to get approval from the DNR. I mean, it's not like individual lake groups can just go out and just do whatever they want. DNR still got input, control, and I'll tell you, if you're getting some of these plans passed by the DNR, it's not an easy thing to get done. So the research is there, the development of the pesticides is there. It's just, this is an opportunity for those lake management groups to get money from the state of Wisconsin to deal with the issues they're facing.
It is taxpayer money, so that's all.
Okay, we had the motion to take the resolution forward to county board on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed signify by saying nay.
Nay, Supervisor Pozdolski.
That'll be noted. That motion passes and that'll move on to county board. Next, we have county forest acres.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring this up to, the supervisor's attention. We have an opportunity to acquire more acres for our county forest. Meteor Timber is selling parcels all over the county, and we have an option to use the Knowles Nelson Stewardship Grant, which is what we used for our previous 598 acres. They will pay for 50% of the final purchase price, and then there is a variable share loan and a project loan through the DNR, which will pay for the other 50%. So there's no out of pocket coming from Adams County. The only thing is that our payment, we would pay 40% back to DNR from every one of our timber harvests and 10% back to all the townships that have county forest lands within them. And so that our income would be 50% of all timber harvests with no payment upfront for the lands. So I just want to bring it to your attention as, you guys would be the ones signing the
To take the
resolution
resolution
to apply
forward
for
if
these
we would do
grants.
so.
Yeah, and so then, I'd be working with, Adam Wysocki, our forester representative from the DNR, in applying for these grants.
Okay. So what is the committee's members' thoughts on this? So Supervisor Pozdowski?
Yeah, when we talk about government acquiring more land, I believe the citizens think that the government has plenty of land as it is. So I believe the citizens would oppose the acquisition of more property. The government. Thank you.
Supervisor Krug?
It's a double-edged sword, right? So we've had this conversation on this committee for a few years now, and the first 600 some acres or 598, whatever it was. So if folks remember back a little bit, some historical stuff, Meteor Timber is not exactly a very friendly entity to asking for ideas for other projects that come up. So 2012, a good example up in Wood County in Saratoga, 3,000 some acres that was set aside to become a mega dairy operation. Citizens were super upset about it up there. It's now finally been transitioned into solar panels, which is something citizens still aren't very excited about either. So all I'm telling you is a cautionary tale of if you don't find a way to set aside the land, it is going to end up becoming something that people are probably going to like even less than government owning the land. So it's a little more nuanced than people just not wanting us to have any more land. I agree 100% we shouldn't, but this is something we've got to think about a little bit longer, because when those acres end up going to the next highest bidder for the next project, you are going to hear people all over our case about letting those acres go to something that's going to end up becoming something that's even more destructive to our ecological balance and tourism opportunities and things like that in Adams County. So it's just gonna have to think about a lot more. I don't want to be a hard no, but you know, Supervisor Podzolski's got a Pozdolski, I keep saying it wrong, sorry. He's got a point that people don't want us to keep buying more land, but just keep the other side of the equation in your head, is that when we don't, things happen that we don't like either.
Any other comments? And
So Scott just pointed out a lot of the shortcomings of the government. And there you have it, everybody. Thank you.
I mean, some of my aspect is that it's more local control. The state probably isn't buying a lot of public lands for hunting anymore. And, you know, they probably would say, well, let the counties deal with it because it's more local issue. And as Meteor Timber does sell off their property, we keep losing, you know, public lands that, you know, that's all public hunting grounds that people have. And then that's even less people that, you know, and there are a lot of people that have come into Adams County to hunt, you know, and they don't, you know, and is it a bad thing to have trail systems or hunting land like that? It's just a additional county parkland, really, but.
I think another aspect of it is look what's going on in town of Roma Sand Valley. Not that that was all Meteor Timber or a bad project in the end, but you've got hundreds and probably thousands of people who used to use ATV trails all through the Sand Valley property that don't have that access anymore. So now we're talking, you know, the acres to the north of Adams County unavailable because of Sand Valley, some acres to the south becoming unavailable for new projects, and it's just getting eaten up. And if we don't take a step to try to protect it and to use it for ourselves and to keep it for the people of the Adams County region and to help us generate that interest in our economy here, we're going to be in some trouble. So it's not as easy just saying, no, we don't want any more.
Yeah. And I think in the property committee too, I mean, they probably have that concern about, and you know, with the parks, keeping some of their snowmobile trails open, right? So, I mean, I think that right. I mean, it's just not buying up any acres, but maybe we should do it, you know, look at it and see what acres are there and, you know, consider it, at least take into consideration, you know. We can always say no, you know, before we actually sign the dotted line, right? So Colton's just, I think, looking if the committee is in favor of looking at it. Otherwise, he doesn't want to spend a lot of time on it, probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff that I could be spending my time on, but if this is something that we'd want to acquire more of, then, you know, I would make that a little bit more of a, because I mean, once, not to say that there's not going to be options in the future, but once Meteor Timber sells their land off and it's private, then it's going to be a long time before we could acquire more.
So, other thoughts? I guess we only heard from a couple of us. We can take a straw vote too. I mean, it's not really something to say that we're going to go out there and do it, you know, but.
John, I think we need to do a balance between the tourism that this does bring in and the thoughts that it could become like another Sand Valley or cleared completely for farmland.
Mm.
You know,
So,
Yeah, I think there's plenty of farmland here in Adams County, plenty of places to plant potatoes. I don't think we need any more potato plants. Thank you.
Supervisor Kubarski, I see you picked your mic up, so we might as well hear from every committee member.
Well, the biggest thing you'll hear, we're taking off the tax roll, but yet the benefits from doing that, you have to weigh this thing. In one way, I'd like to see it happen, but in the other way, once it's off the tax roll, if it's a large parcel, there goes some more tax dollars. And there becomes some more expenses to develop it so it's user friendly, trails and those type of things. How many acres are possible?
Well, yeah,
I-
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on if you want them like contiguous or if you want them little parts, we try and get the county forest as close as we could, so that's a bigger parcel for more conservation, but yeah, I mean, there's parcels up in Rome that are over 1,400 acres that you could buy that are contiguous. Otherwise, there's 80 parcels here, 200 parcels here in different townships.
I would like to agree with Representative or Supervisor Krug. Once that land is taken out, all of a sudden you hear, why are you letting them build that in there? And I see it over in Juneau County with some land that came up and now it's a big solar farm. And people don't like that either. I mean, it's kind of darned if you do and darned if you don't. Just my opinion. I mean, right now I'm straddling.
Supervisor Churko?
Well, I don't want to mention the state that I come from, but there's a lot of state-owned land in the state that I grew up in. And it is amazing how much that boosts tourism dollars in the very, very, in the sticks that I come from. So to preserve certain pieces of land for the good of the whole, I don't really see a lot of a downside to it myself.
And Colin's just looking for direction. It's nothing, right? He wants to know if he doesn't want to keep working on something and then not have to. So I think it's not a definite yes, let's go out and do this, but I don't hear a definite no, except maybe Supervisor Pozdowski might be, no, just don't do it, but
The fact that they put solar panels in Adams County, period, would tell me that we should not let them take any more land. We don't need any more solar panels on our lands out here. They're unsightly. There should be nuclear power plants supplying power, everybody. Thank you.
so. Okay, so I guess, bring something forward and we can have that discussion, I guess, if, I know, I mean, just so I know that looking at county board agendas in the future, Next Era Energy wants to come in and have a conversation with the county board and give us a presentation. So they're going to be up in Next Era Energy's solar company that's got what, 1,200 acres under possible lease. Yeah, so I mean,
A nuclear power plant requires 5 acres, everybody. It probably produces 1,000 times more power than 100 acres of solar panels.
I can't disagree with you, but nobody wants that in their backyard neither. Yeah. So, okay. So you good with that? Okay. Oh. Let's see, next item then, we have the project status report. For land and water on there. Any questions? Okay. If none, we'll move on then to the financial report, and we'll assume that everybody looks at these reports before they come here. So if you do have a question, we'll just, otherwise we won't spend a lot of time looking at them. Land and water report is on there. Was there anything additional, Colton, you wanted to bring up?
I just had as a highlight on there, it's underneath Tyler Torstenson Harris up there. He's our resource conservationist. He attended Science by the River up in Wisconsin Rapids in Wood County. Wood County was supposed to have a booth there giving an informative talk, and something came up last minute that they couldn't make it. So he went up there given a day's notice and got to, I think there was almost over 100 kids and adults there, and they get to go along a 2-mile trail along the Wisconsin River and learn all about different conservation efforts.
So, otherwise, questions on the report, Supervisor Pozdowski?
Yeah, I think it was Chair. So I was looking at this, the Science by the River. They're given instructions on spraying. Question we had was instruction given to the students regarding potential chemical runoff, potential impacts on the environment and habitat. Also educating on proper time and time of year to apply. Are they talking about that? I didn't see anything in there. You know, those are really important things to consider when you're spraying, of course.
Yeah, I can get back to you on that. I
I
can ask
mean,
Tyler and
yeah,
see if he gave that little presentation as well.
right. You know, obviously, you know, protecting the person that's doing it with, you know, suits and stuff is important.
Mhm.
But, you know, the habitat and considering the time of year, you know, when are you spraying, you know, or, you know, is it going to rain? Is there a potential of rain that's going to be coming that could cause runoff? Things like that, you know, I'd like to see a little bit more education within this type of topic, you know, for educating people on. So,
Yeah, and I mean, he could have gave all that information to him. I think this was just kind of like a brief
Okay.
write-up, but I mean, I can ask him for more information. If you'd like.
yeah, just, I mean, things I recommend, you know, definitely bringing up or
Yeah, for sure.
so. Thank you. Appreciate it, Cody.
Okay, if nothing else, we haven't heard anything from Packers, right? County. No?
They'll be giving quarterly updates. So
Okay.
I should be getting one next month.
Okay. And Mary Lou is not here, so nothing for a Lake Alliance report that she, okay. What's that? Oh, Mr. Pegler, do you have any update from Lake Alliance? I know you're on.
Yep, hello. Yeah, no, we did not have a meeting in October, so we're
Okay.
meeting tomorrow, actually. So,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Okay, and then nothing as an agriculture report, dead camp is there. Supervisor Postomski?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, they're talking about the spread of nutrient here. Had a lot of citizen concerns regarding application of nutrients. We didn't see anything here again about the time of year or when, you know, when not to spread nutrient, when to spread nutrient, you know, when's the best time? Do you have any information on that at all? As far as nutrient spread?
I mean, it differs depending on what you're trying to spread.
I mean, like the slurry, you know, that's the most common.
Yeah, I mean, if you want it to come from DACAP, I can get Andrea Topper, who is in charge of the nutrient management program. I can get her 2 cents on certain times of the years. I mean, I know that they have outlines on recommendations on when you can spread and how much you can or can't spread
Right,
on their website.
right. I attended the Land and Water. It would have been about a year ago in the spring. Was at the Kalahari, and they talked about nitrogen bank in the soil, and they pulled up a chart of Wisconsin, and they showed Adams County in a bullseye red of a high nitrogen bank in the soil. So it's a concern for a lot of citizens, but I did also learn in those, I mean, there's a very, very informative sessions, but in the fall, when there's no plant life to absorb nutrient, there's a risk of it running off because it's not absorbed, of course. So to me, I heard a strong recommendation from every, you know, not to put it down in the fall, period. But I understand it is being spread in the fall, and citizens have been concerned about that. So we're wondering what they could do. What are they doing? You know, we see this nutrient management quality assurance organization. Okay, who are they? I mean, what do they Is that an entity? Is that like a team?
I'm
Or-
guessing that's just like a subcommittee underneath DADCAP.
Okay. And, so what are they assuring, I guess is the question. What are they looking for when they say there's quality nutrient assurance? How are they assuring? What are they assuring, I suppose? Do you follow me, Cody?
Yeah, I guess I haven't attended any of those meetings, so I
Okay.
would have to read into that or
Yeah.
ask Andrea Topper, our
Yeah,
nutrient
okay.
management contact,
Okay,
and get more information from her.
yeah, and I mean, if possible, have her available at the next meeting,
Yeah,
if
I
there's
can see what her
more
availability
questions that
is.
come up, because, oh, well, congratulations to her. Oh, how
Yeah.
wonderful. That's good
Well,
to
see what
hear.
her availability is either, you know, if you would want to come and
Yeah, for sure.
give some
Yeah,
information.
yeah, we know citizens would appreciate it as well, so, thank you.
Okay. We have nothing further on the agenda, so I'll declare the meeting adjourned. So thank you all and have a safe ride home.
Yeah. Hopefully they mow that brush back so we can see them better when they run out.